Hey friends, thanks for joining me today. If you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Danielle. I am a chiropractor that does energy-based techniques. I also help people do subconscious reprogramming to help heal their nervous system, trauma, and a lot of the issues that we're seeing in our world today, whether that's autoimmune stuff, chronic pain, chronic fatigue, you name it. I see it. I help people all over the world. And I really want to talk to you today about this idea of frantic energy when it comes to healing our nervous system and working with our body. Because so often, what I see with my clients and what I've also experienced with myself is that when we are going through a period of difficulty and we are trying to heal something, whether it's emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever it is, we get to this point where we start to just frantically throw everything at it. So we might be buying all the supplements for the liver, or we might be going to every single practitioner. And the thing is, all that stuff is great, and I'm not against any of it, but the energetic you carry behind it matters because your body is registering that and then responding to you accordingly. For example, if you're just going from practitioner to practitioner and throwing supplements at your body, but you're still in this frantic state and you're doing everything you have to fix it because you feel like you're broken and that this has to be fixed now and it's very urgent, the problem is that you're still signaling to your nervous system that you're in a state of emergency. And so therefore your body and your system is going to respond as if it's in that state of fight and flight and emergency. So how do we begin to change this? Well, we have to begin to shift the perspective on our healing and on our body and on our mind and look at what are the beliefs that I carry around my body, around what it's capable of doing, and around what it's capable of healing. You know, what was I told growing up was possible for me in terms of healing? What do I believe culturally about healing? Because we all come from different backgrounds, and some people had very holistic parents and other people had not so holistic parents. And so it's just like, what are the beliefs I have around my own body and its capability to heal? That's step one. Step two is, who is the person that's already on the other side of this bridge, this version of me that I'm, working to get to, we'll say. And what type of beliefs would they have about their body? What type of things would they do? How would they walk? How would they feel about their body? Stepping into that version of yourself where we're coming from a state of it's already done, it's already happened, and now I'm just being an active participant in my healing, and I can allow it to be this fun, effortless, more enjoyable process. Now, that's not for me to bypass and say, I know there's days when it's hard. Trust me, from somebody who has had to heal from some serious chronic things, I know that some days we're just like, this is really, really freaking hard. And that, there's days where our pain is worse or our symptoms are worse and we're really struggling. But what I do ask you to do is, like, in those moments, do not get frantic. Do not start getting panicked. We have to work with our system, whether that's taking a nice deep or hot bath or taking a nap or doing some sort of somatic kind of practice to help our body or do something to help nourish our body in that moment versus constantly throwing different things at it in this state of panic. We cannot heal in a state of fight or flight. We cannot heal something that's been going on forever in a state of emergency. The state of emergency in our body is meant for that moment of shock. It is meant for the moment when we need to run from something right then and there. It is meant for those type of moments. But when we have something and our body is now fatigued because our cortisol levels are up, because we're constantly living in this state of fight and flight, we're constantly living in this state of survival, the body begins to break down. And I'm sure if you've ever experienced any of these symptoms or anything that has to feel like this, you know what that feels like, right? You know how that feels in your body. You start to feel disconnected, you start to feel tired, and like you are really trying to pull yourself out of bed every day. So what I encourage you to do is be patient with yourself. Choose how you want to go on this part of your healing journey, right? Because healing is continuous, it's throughout our entire life. But how can I begin to show up differently? Maybe it's, if you have to go to a particular clinic or something to get some sort of care, it's like maybe you buy a fun outfit so that at least every time you're going in, there's something carrying your mood up. Or you get a really, maybe you do a certain sort of prayer or affirmation before you take your supplements. Or even when you forget to take your supplements, you don't panic about, oh my God, I didn't take them today, as if your body is broken and that it doesn't know what it can do or that it doesn't know how to heal, right? And you can also play with, maybe you're starting an exercise routine and you don't love exercising or it feels difficult at first. Maybe you get yourself something that makes you feel good about it, or you listen to a certain playlist of music that you really love while you gently go on a walk outside. And the thing is for us to not start extreme. Consistency is key, and us doing subtle changes is how we build that sustainability and build that consistency. So I encourage you to, if you are starting, to work out again or something, it's like maybe you just go for long walks outside for 20 minutes, or maybe you start at 10 minutes, but you do it every day and you listen to a really great book or a podcast or some sort of music that makes you feel good. Just start and make it fun. Make it as fun as possible. We take things so seriously nowadays, and it's not to say some of the things that we're dealing with aren't serious, but the better attitude we have with it and the more ease and compassion we have with ourselves and our body and that connection that we create, the faster you are going to heal. I promise you, I have seen it time and time and again without fail with thousands of clients all over the world. I have done this with myself. I promise you that this is what works, okay? And if you can begin to practice this daily, you will begin to see a huge shift in the state you're in as you're healing. Because the other thing that is very important is that if you look at us cutting out diseases, or when somebody does something and they heal from it, but if the person stays the same, if the stress level stays the same, if the same choices, thoughts, actions, and behaviors they still have after the disease or whatever it is gone, they tend to have it come back because they haven't changed as a person, right? Not everybody. I'm not saying this is for everyone. I'm saying a lot of times when it comes back, it's because we are still being the same person. And that's not to make us wrong or bad, but if we constantly have stress, the symptoms will show up in some sort of other way. If we constantly are thinking that we aren't good enough, or that we're lacking, or that we are unworthy or undeserving, that's going to now show up in some sort of way, because that's constantly what we're feeding ourselves and telling our body. So I want you to think about and have reflection and awareness on, what are the beliefs that I'm carrying around my health and my body and my wellness? And what is it that I'm still doing, acting, and behaving in that might be keeping my body in this state? Now, if you like the state your body's in, then great. Continue to do what you're doing. If you don't, then this is an opportunity for you to reflect on that and say, I'd like to choose something different, and I'm going to practice choosing that different thing every single day. So I hope this is helpful for you. Please drop in the comments below what you'd like to be working on and shifting and changing, and I will see you guys very, very soon.